Hi, in this lecture we are going to add a form down here in the build form page so that the user can fill in with data, and also we're going to have a button under the form where the user can click that button and they can see the results in another page. So, like that. I am in the build form page.html, which is a page or the template served by the Flask app by the Python code. We have connected that name of the file in the render template function in the build form page class. So I'm going to add now form tags, and between them will go all the widgets of the form. By widget, what is a widget? A widget is this, for example, bill amount is a label widget. This box here is also a widget. It's a text input widget. Then we'll have another label, another text input widget, and so on. In HTML, you can add such widgets like this. For example, the label, you use these tags. Let's say bill amount. For an input text box, you'd just do this, and inside here you'd say type equal to text. And now if I go to the web page to refresh, you see that the widget is added. Now that is one way to create a form with your Flask apps, but that's not the best way. The best way is not to add the widgets in here. So you can leave the form tags and then go to the Python file and locate your form class, so build form class in our case. And so instead of using HTML code to create widgets, we are going to use Python code to create the widgets. For example, to create this label and the text box, we only need to use the string field class. So you import that from WT Forms, import string field, and then go to the class and create a variable, let's say amount. So we're talking about the bill amount. String field, we initialize the class, or in other words, we are instantiating the class, we are creating an object instance. You see, now Python suggests us what to pass there. So we're talking about the label. We said the label would be bill amount, like that. And then let's skip the validators for now and just leave the other attributes as default. So this is enough. I'm going to add another widget. So we're talking about the bill period label and the text box also. So you see that this is easier. Bill period. Just like that. Okay. I'll leave it like that for now and try to connect that code to this, because for now the HTML code doesn't know about these two fields or these two widgets. We haven't told Python anywhere what to do with the build form class. As you can see here, we have not instantiated the build form class, and we are not referring to build form anywhere here in the HTML. So we need to initialize the build form. And where do we do that? We want to initialize the build form. So let's do that. Build form, this is just a variable, is equal to build form, the class, with parentheses, which means that we are initializing it. You don't have to import to input any attributes there. Just leave it like that. Great, so now we have initialized the build form. However, the build form page.html, which I'm going to put in here, The build form page HTML code doesn't yet know about this build form instance. So we need to tell to the build form page about that build form instance. And the way we do that is inside the form tags. So maybe make some space there, 1, 2, 3, 4, just for code readability. And there we need to use this special curly brackets. And inside the curly brackets, you'd say build form, so that variable dot amount. What is amount? Amount is one of the build form class variables. So you see this one in here. And let's see what's going to happen if we leave it just like that. I warn you, nothing is going to happen. If I reload this, it says that build form is undefined. So here we have an error in the build form.page.html. And that's true because in this code we have not defined this variable. The way to define it is to tell the HTML template through Python that this variable is equal to that variable. So build form. Or to distinguish between them, you could just remove that underscore and remove it from there as well. So I'm trying to tell you that this is the same as this. This is a variable, this is a variable. This is a variable that holds the instance now, and it will be sent to that variable. Let's see what we're going to get this time. Refresh. So we have a box, but no label. To have the label, you need to add the label, and you can extract the label by doing that. Enclose that in curly brackets and that in curly brackets. So here we have build form.amount.label. So from the build form.amount widget, this is a widget. So up to here, this is a widget. This is the label of the widget that we are accessing from that. So in other words, the label is a property of string fields. So amount is that one in there. Label is part of amount. And we leave a space, and then we have build form.amount, which is the actual widget, the text box. So now if we go here and refresh, we're going to see build amount and the text box. Let me split that so it's more readable, and that as well, and that as well. Okay, it's fine. Now similarly, I can duplicate this line here and say period. So you see how easy, manageable this is now. If you go and refresh, you're going to see build period in there. If you want to see build periods under the build amount, then we need to add a break tag here. Refresh, and build period now with its text box is under the build amount. Right, let's have a look at our design. So after build period, we have a line which we can make with a tag. So let's see how that comes out. Okay, good. We have a line, and then underneath here we have first name, first flatmate. Okay, so that's simple text, so we don't have to make a widget for that. We can just write it as a paragraph. First flatmate. Refresh, and first flatmate is there. After first flatmate, what we have is name and the text box, so it's a widget. This will be name1, so the name of the first flatmate. It's going to be a string field. What's the label of that? Name. days in the house. Days in house 1 equal to string field days in the house. Then we would have, I can select these lines, Control D or Command D to duplicate them, make some space. So this would be name 2, day in house 2, yeah, that's fine. And in the HTML page, let's make sure we reflect the additions we did. So after first flat made, we would have from build form dot name one dot label, so the label of name one, which is this one in here, and the actual widget object, which is build form dot name one, this one in here, the string field or the string widget, whatever you like to call it. Maybe a break tag, and then 4 curly brackets, build form dot days in house 1 dot label, build form days in house 1, just like that. And then I'm going to copy these lines, so duplicate them. We're talking about second flat made, 2 there, 2 there, and 2 there instead of 1. So let's have a look what we got. So we have some widgets here. First flatmate, the section of the first flatmate, name, days in the house that the first flatmate stayed, second flatmate, and yeah, that's working. And lastly, before I close this lecture, I would like to add a button. So let's say button equal to submit field, which we need to import from WT forms, import submit field. That's how the button is called. So it's used to submit. And what label do we need to give the button? Calculate maybe. And then go to the HTML, maybe a break tag, and then comes the button, build form dot button, so that's the name of the variable. Refresh, and this is a button which does nothing for now, of course, because we need to give some instructions now about what this form should do. But we'll do that in the next lecture. Thanks.